What do you do when you're kind of afraid of doing the thing that you are trying to do, that you want to do? Welcome to the Creative Mindset Podcast. My name is Isolde Trachtenberg, and I'm super happy you're here. On the show, I focus on creative thinking, problem solving, and living. Most often, I'll discuss how to ignite inspiration, meet challenges, and achieve goals through creative thinking. Sometimes I'll have guests who give their perspective. Usually, it's people who are already living their best and most creative lives. Okay, let's get to it. Hey there, and welcome to the Creative Mindset Podcast. This is Isolde Trachtenberg, and I am really happy you're here. I want to talk today about something that is really important and frightening, and that is doing what scares the crap out of you. So I'm going to talk about an audition that I just had. Well, I don't know if you know, but I do some voice acting. And here's the thing about doing voice acting. You do a lot of auditioning. And the auditioning, the actual sort of, oh, I want you to read me a script so I can tell whether or not you're right for the part. That part never scares me. What scares me? Pricing. Pricing terrifies me because I don't want to price myself out of competing for this particular role, for this job. But I also don't want to price myself so low that I'll be making, 10 cents an hour by the time all is said and done, right? So how do you do it? Well, you can do a search. Google is your friend here. See what other people are charging if you can find it. But money is tough, right? It's a tough customer. You have to sort of figure out what to do because often people don't want to tell you what they charge. Now you can sometimes find industry standards, things like that, but it's still pretty difficult. And you're in this position of going, well, here's hoping. And today I got invited at a pay-to-play site. I got invited to audition for a Russian language voiceover, which by its nature would probably be a little bit higher than what an English version would be charged for, right? So you'd charge a little higher because it's a foreign language and it's a specialized skill, et cetera, et cetera. So I was excited to audition. That would be cool. They gave a sample script and I was able to read it, et cetera. But here was the thing. I wasn't sure what to charge as far as they wanted a budget, right? And honestly, I had no idea because I haven't done any Russian language narrations for some time. And the last time I did it was for a nonprofit, and it wasn't for a for-profit, and it was different because a lot of the parameters have changed. So I just honestly had no idea what to do. And what I found was happening was that I was doing anything with my day except for recording the audition. I did yoga, which I'm supposed to do. Then I started doing the dishes. Then I started changing the cat litter box. Then I started whatever it was I was doing. I was obviously evading and avoiding the thing that I really both needed and wanted to do, which was record that audition and submit my proposal. But wow, are we able to circumvent, we're able to detour ourselves. I don't know if you can use detour as a verb in that way, but we can do that. We can get in our own way. We can lie to ourselves like crazy when we're in this position of having to figure out, is this okay? Will I be okay doing this? And if I get chosen, great. If I don't get chosen, that's fine too. But it is interesting to have gone through the process of recording the audition, and now it's up on my little Voice 123 website as a sample that you can listen to with my Russian language audition. But it's interesting because I'm a little afraid of this one part of it, so then I will avoid doing the whole thing, was really interesting. It kind of got me thinking, well, what do you do then? What do you do when you're kind of afraid of doing the thing that you are trying to do, that you want to do? Because I love doing voiceovers and I love speaking in Russian. It's my first language, for Pete's sake, right? So I love it. And it was really hard for me because I didn't know what to charge and so therefore was avoiding it. And so I thought about it and I went, okay, what do you need to do to begin? What is it that you need to do? And I needed to stop thinking about the thing that scared me. I kind of went, okay, I'm going to put that away. I know I'm going to have to do it, but I'm going to put it away for a bit. All I need to do right now is to make it super easy on myself to do the thing that I know I want to do. And that is go ahead and open up my recording software, get my microphone set up so that I can record whenever I'm ready. No big deal, right? And so then I got the script together that I had to record. I opened the software, got the thing started, had my microphone all set up. Everything was set to record, and that was awesome. And then I evaded and avoided and went, okay, I'm going to go shower now, right? See, it's amazing how much and how well we're able to do that. So I went and showered and told myself, okay, you really won't be clear of voice until you've showered and you've breathed in the steam from the hot water, whatever, right? Again, it's an evasion, it's an avoidance tactic, or a delay tactic, I guess is probably a better way of saying it. So what do? Well, here's what I did. I did the shower and then I went, all you have to do is go there and say your name. And here's what's fun. You're not going to say your name like you say it in English, Isolde Trachtenberg. You're going to say it like you say it in Russian, Isolde Trachtenberg, which is exactly what I did. Because, you slate your name. When you're doing an audition, you slate your name. And slate your name means you say your name first thing. And you say it in character. So I went, okay, Isolde Trachtenberg. And the very first part of it was this really interesting countdown. The first part of the audition was just 3, 2, 1, start. So I went, okay, that's not hard. It's just simple. So I went 3, 2, 1, start. And by the way, I loved that it was start. It was just the Russian pronunciation of the English word. But it was really interesting because once I did that happened to be a really lovely way of getting me into it. 3, 2, 1, start, right? So it wasn't as frightening. And then I had to figure out what to do with the hard part. Rest of it. Because right? I took the first step, which was, it's simple, it's easy. The rest of the audition. My teacher, Paul Liberty, who is I can fabulous, put it aside if I want to. And I did the rest of the audition. I recorded I'm learning how to do animations so that was the easy right now part, from him, right? Which is amazing, actually. So we're learning how to create characters for animation voiceovers, and it is so much fun. I've done it before. For the Numbers Lady, for the Numbers Alive web series. So I got to be number 9 and number 4. And so it's learning how to do it consistently depending on the character they give you is something that I'm studying right now. And it is so much fun. I love it. You could talk like this or you could talk like this. And it doesn't matter as long as it fits the character. And I love doing it. I have a great time doing this stuff. But anyway, one of the things that Paul says, and I credit him fully with this, is to just go, this is so easy. It's so simple. I love this. And the more you do that, the more you're like, I love doing this. This is the most fun. And it is, by the way. The easier all of this happens. So that's what I said to myself. I'm like, this is simple. All you have to do is open the software. All you have to do is put your mic in its little holder. That's all you got to do. It's not a problem. And then I went, okay, all you have to do, step by step, is just say your name. That's all. That's all you have to do. So I said my name. Oh, it's going to be simple. All you have to do is record that first line. It's not a big deal. Just go ahead and do it. 3, 2, 1, start. Great. I got that recorded. And I sort of kept talking to myself about how simple and how easy it was and how much I liked it all the way through. And then I went, okay, the rest of this is super easy too, right? You can just go ahead and you can figure it out and you can just go, all right, I'm going to look and I'm going to see. I'm going to Google what other people might charge for this. And then I'm going to say, okay, is this what I can charge? And it was simple. It was easy. And I kept saying that to myself. So Paul, if you ever listen to this episode, I got to tell you, I send you my gratitude because reminding myself that this is simple. It is easy, especially if we break it down step by step. Everything becomes doable. It really does. And, that's why I wrote that book. I wrote Get Your Stuff Done because I wanted to be able to break things down into their very, very most easy, most basic parts, and when you do that, when you go, okay, I don't have to do the whole thing and finish it all up. All I've got to do is just open the software. That's it. That's one of the tasks. I just open the software. And the next task is to plug the microphone in. And, the next task is to bring up the script. That's it. Nothing big, nothing huge. And once I did all that, then I went on to the next 3 tasks. Oh, okay. So then I have to create the tracks and I have to look at the script and make sure that I know what I need to say. And I also need to save the file. Those are the next 3 tasks. And it was that step by step that I did it in a way that allowed me to not feel anxious about the thing that I was feeling anxious about, which was pricing. But then I did the same thing with the pricing. Okay, so Google voiceovers, Russian pricing. Okay, great. And then I saw some websites that have been kind enough to put that stuff down. And I don't know if I'm in the exact right sweet spot for charging, but I do know that I'm in the neighborhood, right? I may not be at the right address, but I'm in the neighborhood, and that is a lot of it. So I went, okay, I did what I could. I did the best I could, and then I went from there. And that part of it, I'm not sure exactly what to do, I just had to sort of tell that to sit down and hush up and not bring it out until I was ready for it. And once I was in motion, right? Yesterday's or Friday's podcast was all about the law of inertia and how a body at rest tends to stay at rest and a body in motion tends to stay in motion. Well, once I was in motion, once I had started the project, it became a lot easier to make the rest of it happen. And it's break it down into its most basic elements, do one at a time, and don't keep thinking about the overwhelming aspect of what you're trying to achieve. Just do it step by step by step. And before you know it, you're going to have achieved a ton and also built your confidence about achieving, and that is a big freaking deal right there. If you build your confidence about what you want to achieve, that's major, and it will stand you in good stead to do it that way. I promise you're going to achieve incredible things, and you'll love it. Okay, so here's what last things that I want to talk about. First of all, get your stuff done. You can find it at isoldat.com/getyourstuffdone. If you're like, oh, I want to check that book out. It's a journal and it will help you, so you can find it there. And also, I am going to be at the People's Improv Theater on January 19th. If you're in New York or around New York and you want to come and see me do stand-up comedy, I know. I do stand-up comedy. I am the MC and one of the performers at the Sophisticated Psychos variety show that's happening at the People's Improv Theater on the Lower East Side in New York, in Manhattan, on January 19th at 7 p.m. I'm going to put the link to tickets in the show notes so that if you're like, oh, you know what, I'm here in the city, I can go to this show. I would love to see you. And if you happen to come from this podcast episode, if that's why you show up, let me know. That would be a trip. I would love it. And I might even have a little prize for you for showing up because you heard this podcast episode. Anyway, that is my thought about doing what seems daunting and doing it anyway, right? Today, I hope that you have had a beautiful weekend and I hope you have a terrific week. And I want to tell you, if you are liking what you're hearing, please consider leaving a review on the podcast page. It would really mean the world to me on iTunes or wherever you listen to the show. It would mean the world to me to know what you're thinking. Until next time, I just want to say I send you my love, and this is Isolde Trachtenberg saying, let's get to it. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. Please subscribe to the podcast if you're new, and please tell your friends about the community we're building here. Today's episode was produced by Isolde Trachtenberg and is copyright Isolde Trachtenberg 2019. Today's music was from Kevin MacLeod, Laser Groove, and Ave Marimba, brought to you by Creative Commons License 3.0. As always, please remember this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Past performance does not guarantee future results, although we can always hope. Until next time, I send you all of my love.